Hi everyone, I'm Carol Keller, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Illinois in the United States, here for my usual Tuesday afternoon live on a gray Illinois day. But I'm excited because it is new catalog day. The new annual catalog, the 2023-2024 catalog went live today, which means we can all order from it now. And there are so many wonderful things to show you. I'm going to share a bundle called, I believe it's called Cheerful Daisies. I'll double check that. But I love it. And it's got some really pretty designer series paper to go with it. So we will be using some of that too for a pretty card that's a fun fold, but it's very easy to do. So the best kind, right? It looks really great and it's easy. So I'm going to turn my camera around right away so that we can get started. Okay. So this is the card. Isn't it pretty? And it's called a collar fold card. And it's so easy. Wait till you see. So I'm going to put it here. And we are using, it is called Cheerful Daisies. We're also using a new color, a color that's brand new to the collection. It's called Azure Afternoon. Love it. It's becoming my favorite very quickly. All right. So anyway, this is Azure Afternoon. And we're going to use this for the card base. I know, very unlike me because I usually use basic white, but sometimes you do have to change it up. So, and then we've got two layers for the front that are exactly the same size. So I've got a basic white layer and it's first layer size, so 5 1/4 by 4 inches. And or in centimeters, it would be 14.4 by 10. And then the same thing with this beautiful designer series paper. And so what we have to do first is mark the center. So I'm going to grab a pencil and my ruler, and we're going to mark it at 2 5/8 because that's half. So right about, oh no, 5 1/4. Is that right? 5, 2 1/2. Yes, 2 5/8. So that is right here. And then, so I just have the tiniest mark because then I'm going to grab my trimmer and we have to trim it. And I think I did it this way. So I've got that little mark right in the channel. And we're going to bring it up here and we're going to cut it to just 1 3/4 inches up. So that is right here. And then you could score it, but I think, well, let's do that. Let's bring the trimmer back and we'll score it because that'll make it a little more, that'll pretty it up a little bit. So we're going to move that cutting blade out of the way. It's a little harder to do because you don't know exactly where this is, but I kind of felt with my finger till I found the channel, which I think is right there at the top of where I cut. And then we put this end also in the channel. And so, whoops, and I almost did that, cut it off. That would be bad. And we'll score that side. And then we're gonna do the same thing here. So I'm gonna kind of feel with my finger for the channel and then put this one here. And that just makes it a little bit more precise. And so then we just fold it up like this. And let's see if that worked. And you can see the little score mark, but we're going to cover that up anyway, so it doesn't matter. Pretty close. I think we're going to move this up just a little bit. I still want it here. So you can play with it a little bit. And then we're going to attach these with dimensionals. So again, it doesn't quite have to be exact, but you want to get it pretty close. So that's ready to go on the card. So we're going to do some stamping. And the sentiment wishing you the brightest birthday comes from that Cheerful Daisies set. And I'm going to bring in that beautiful Azure Afternoon ink. All right, sorry, just watching my video because it keeps kind of thinking, but I can tell I'm still live, so that's good. And we are going to eyeball. Actually, I think I did this so I could see exactly where it's going to go. So it's centered because you want it to be centered. I'll get a little more ink on there. pretty good. And then while we have the ink, we are going to do, I hope, another white piece somewhere here for the inside. I think this is it. Let's make sure. Yes. So we're going to put a piece on the inside as well. And for that, I've cut a strip from that same pattern paper. And this is, I think, is it a 1/2 inch or 3/4? Let's double check. It might be a 3/4. Yes, 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 so that it fits right here. And we're going to put that on with some Stampin' Seal. Throw that right on there. And I forget if I left a border. I did. Left a little border here. And then for our sentiment for the inside, I actually use this stamp from Something Fancy. I've been using that stamp set a lot because it has some great sentiments. So this one says, "Grateful for the everyday magic of you." And we're going to put that up here. Then while we have the ink, the other thing that I did, we'll move that here, is I cut out from the dies, the companion dies, there are 3 daisies. We're going to use 2 of them for this card, but don't throw the 3rd one away if you're creating with me, because next week we're going to use the other one on a different card. So there's leaves that come out here, and I didn't even cut them because I don't need them. So we're just going to trim off the excess and trim them apart. So there are little bits that you want to kind of make sure you get off where they attach to each other. But it's pretty simple. And then for the inside, we're going to use this one. And then we'll save that other one and see there's like a little bit here where it was attached. And I'd say that looks pretty good. Okay, so we'll leave that handy as well. Because now what we're going to do is I'm going to take my sponge dauber and we're going to ink around the edge. I wanted to bring out that blue. So just a little bit around the edges. And it's so nice and bright, isn't it pretty? Ugh, love it. You know, I've said this before, it's always sad to see colors that you love retiring and leaving the collection, but then they bring in new ones that you love just as much. Thank goodness. I say that looks pretty good, and then we're going to do the same thing for this one. Just do the very tips maybe. So you can go, you know, in as far as you want. But for this one, I'll just do the very tips, the very edges. And then that should be it for our ink. So we'll move that out of the way and we'll start some assembly. And then the other thing I did was there's a die that cuts out, and I used copper clay because that's what's in here, one of our new in colors. And that's going to go in the center here. So you can see I did not punch out all of the center pieces because it's going to be covered anyway. So we're going to put those together. But I guess we'll do the inside. We'll get this out of the way first. Grab that seal. And did you notice I finally have sparkly nails? I've been wanting to do my nails for a while, but they were kind of not in good shape. So I waited for them to grow out and look better before I covered them up. So now they're pretty again. And we're going to put this here with some seal again, or you could use a glue dot even. That would work. But we'll use seal. Put that right here. And then this piece is actually too big. I have them both here. Where'd the other one go? Oh, here it is. No, that's that one. Here it is. I didn't put it over on my surface yet. So I cut 2 of them, but this one is way too big. So all I did was just cut it down until I was happy with the size. Because there's another one in the set and I felt like it was too small. So I kind of cut all the way around the edge. It definitely needs to be smaller, and I had to kind of do it a little bit, a couple of times before I was happy with the size. That's not bad. I think we're going to go with that. And I'll grab a glue dot for that as well. I can locate them. The struggle is always real. Where the heck are those glue dots? It's kind of crazy here again because I've been kind of reshuffling everything, taking out all the old ink pads, putting some of the new ones in, and I don't even know where my glue dots are at the moment. So guess what? We're gonna use some seal. They are buried. And I placed another order today. I ordered some cardstock and some Designer Series paper and some bling, so I'm excited for that. All right, so these we're going to attach to each other and then to the card front. And so I made sure to put some seal here so it holds it down. And there we go, we're lining it up. You could actually use your glue for this. I think that looks pretty good. It's pretty close. And then we'll put that on the card. And so for these, like I said, we're going to use glue dots, with dimensionals, which I do have right here, thank goodness. So we're just going to put a couple on each side to give it a little dimension. Let's take those papers off. All right, and then we're just gonna fold that back again. And this, I think I just put on with a glue dot, but I think we'll stick a dimensional there this time. Because besides the fact that I can't find my glue dots, I think it needs some dimension. But before we put it on, we're gonna put this on. And I am gonna use my seal because my glue dots are buried somewhere. So we're just going to cover up all of those little holes and then take the backing off, and we'll turn it this way, I think. Quick, easy, and so cute, right? And you know, what I love about this is how many times have you used Designer Series paper and said, oh my gosh, I love both sides and I have to hide one. This way you get to see both sides. And so obviously you want to pick one that coordinates on both sides, because this is the copper clay that's picked up in the centers of the daisies. So, but there we go. There's the card. Let me know what you think in the comments. I was thinking about adding some bling, but I decided it looks good just like that, so I ended up leaving it. And let me show you what I used. Here is that wonderful Cheerful Daisies set. So other sentiments too. You made my day, oops a daisy, so sorry, and your friendship means everything. And lots of sizes of daisies and two-step stamping, so you can just do the outline, or do the outline and then color it in, or just use this one. So a lot of options there. And then plus obviously the dies coordinate. And so here's that. This is what I used to cut out those 3 flowers in the basic white. But then same thing, you can cut out just the outline, or you could make it more dimensional. And the same thing with the big one and with this one. And then you've got a stem, some other pieces. This cuts out the leaf. And then here's the smaller center. So a lot of options in there. I know I'm gonna have fun playing with that. And then something fancy. This was the stamp set that I used that sentiment for. And then of course, last but not least, let me show you this gorgeous Designer Series paper. This one is fun because you can use it on a bunch of different cards. These are great as first layers, and I think this one too. And then of course, you could use the smaller ones as accents. And then this is the one that we use today. But there are lots of others. And I've already seen some pretty cards with them. And so again, some of our new colors, this is Moody Mauve, and this is Wild Wheat. And this, the pink, the light pink, is Bubble Bath. And then this light yellow is Lemon Lolly. And then the Azure Afternoon again. So, and let me show you the other side. So lots of our new colors. And then these coordinate. So pretty. This again, Moody Mauve, Copper Clay, Pebbled Path. And this is Pretty Peacock with, I think, maybe Garden Green. And this is probably boho blue, and this is the wild wheat again. So lots of choices for coordinating with the colors on this side. So pretty. So that's it. That is today's card. I hope you like it. So again, that's about it. Thanks for joining me. If you are planning on ordering and your order is less than $150, reach out and I will put my host code in, or I will give you my host code. And if you have an order that's $150 or more, take those great host rewards for yourself. And I will see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Happy stamping.